Good morning, 60 Gang. It's your boy Doug. I thought I was talking to you, but the record button was off. I'm in Fayetteville, Georgia, just preparing a dishwasher for Mr. Duggar, 60 Gang member. He needed a wash pump and his Frigidaire dishwasher. I'm out here now, on my way back home. I'm done for the day, and there's something absolutely marvelous and undeniable, but I just can't refuse come out. I kind of keep myself grounded. I don't overwhelm myself in work. I make sure that I don't get too far ahead of myself in workload, because I'm a one-man army. And I take what days I want off, you know. I need to get out here and do some working out. It's 18 degrees outside. So unless something absolutely irresistible, undeniable can come out here for me to do, I'm headed home. Feel me? And here's a look at Fayetteville, Georgia. Diagnostic need to go up. Tuesday.
Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. On the slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.
This shit is not working.
Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. On the slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been.
I can do that. This app is not working because I'm still doing, it's supposed to be a scam blocker, y'all. And it's not scamming nothing. I'm still getting calls coming through, so uninstall. Shit it's supposed to be doing the work for me. Piece of shit still got me working. I can do that shit without fuck out the phone. Let's go. See if this can work out. Clear. There you go. He's not doing me any good. Get the hell out the phone. It's just not working.
Calling Check Empty Phone. Please hold while I try to connect you. Button.
I have downloaded this app that's supposed to catch all the spam and block them from ringing my phone, and I'm still blocking them myself. I'm like, what the fuck is this for? If I'm still doing it myself. It's supposed to be a spam blocker.
Yeah, all that's doing is sucking up the juice from the battery from your phone. You might want to take that off.
Yeah, I just took it out.
Yeah, just uninstall that.
They make it look like it's doing you so much. No more spam calls. No more tell them off to download. And I was like, okay. Then next thing you know, I'm still getting them through. Like, what the fuck? What the? You know? How's it going at work? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm at doing my admin, so I'm just doing a lot of paperwork, catching up on getting patients their prescriptions and things of that nature. Looking at the clock, bringing it down like a jargon. So, okay, so right now I'm at 33 hours, right? And I need to get to 40. So, do that mean I have to do a full day, or I
Yep.
can sleep an hour?
Yep.
It's a full day, right? It's 7 hours.
Hey, getting married, got it 7 hours. Got to pay for some things.
But I work tomorrow.
That's good.
I work tomorrow, so I'm just gonna do a straight.
Gotta get that gas money for the trip.
Yeah, for both vehicles, or we just gonna do everything in that one
And we
vehicle?
gotta, why not just get the van? I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna look them up, see how much they cost. And we gotta do the cake thing. We gotta take, and we need to go ahead and pay for this food.
Okay. Oh, matter of fact, thank you for saying that out loud. Let me go back to this email, and because I still have it in draft, so I did not finish the email to her, and you are attached to this one. And I did change up a few things on the menu.
I need to get that total paid for and scheduled for pickup.
I know you said that we're picking it up.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna be right there at the door when they open it, pick it up and head towards the school. So I
Okay,
should
this
be
is
there
Deshaun
with the food.
Robinson.
By the time they open up, I should be there.
Regarding the RP.
And now put in the email what time they open for pickup.
Hold on.
We pretty much take it all. Fridges and dishwashers and dresser.
Put in park! Step out of the vehicle. What's going on, my man? You alright?
Yeah, the car day.
Huh? You know what time it is?
Wednesday.
On May 22nd, 2022, while sitting in the turning lane going northbound, an officer could hear multiple vehicles honking their horns. He looked over to the lane going eastbound and noticed a red SUV sitting at the green light. The officer pulled up behind the vehicle, and this is what he found.
He fell asleep.
We're gonna have an unconscious male in the driver's seat. Got a 28 when ready. Yeah, if you don't mind.
He is out. I know he
Hey,
had
do
that.
me a favor real quick. Put your push bumper up against it, just in case he wakes up and he don't mess your car up.
Sleep.
All right.
I think we just pump with the stick and wake up.
It might work.
Yep.
On it? Yeah, you're on it.
Yeah, you're on it.
Hey, if you move a little bit farther down, there's an unlock button on the car.
Lower it down.
Go straight down if you can. Keep going.
Yeah.
About 3 inches down.
Grinding all my life. Sacrifice.
But yeah, bring it back. Back. Now go left with it.
My way.
Yeah, driver's side. Come driver's side, do it.
I don't know if he's gonna be able to hit it.
No.
Can you poke him with the stick? Can you poke him with it?
Stick? I'll poke him.
Yeah.
Put it in park.
Hey, put it in park. Park it.
I got glass breaker tool.
You got your baton on you? I got my baton.
I got this. You ready?
Hey, put it in park. Put it in park. Put it in park.
Stop what you're doing. Put it in park. Put the car in park.
Are you good?
Get out of the car.
What's up, my man?
Out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle.
Yeah, the car.
Step out of the vehicle. What's going on, my man? You alright?
Yeah, I'm gonna get Alondra out of the corner.
Huh?
Alondra out of the corner.
Say what?
The Turner vehicle.
You did what now?
The corner.
The Carner?
Yeah.
What's a Carner?
The corner for particle.
Huh?
The corner for particle.
I don't know what you're saying.
The corner. The corner.
The what? The Carner?
Yeah.
Where are you coming from?
From Washington Donovan High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, step right here. Get back over here. Where are you coming? Where are you coming from?
Washington Donovan High School.
What are you doing over there?
Just walking in the front desk while my conscience is gone.
Huh?
Walking in the front desk while my conscience is gone.
Okay. Why are you asleep at the wheel?
This is the first time I worked the wheel.
This is the first time you worked the wheel?
Yeah. 4th or Monday I work out. Friday I work out. Just one out. Been tough. This time just went out the wheel.
Do you have any medical issues, man? Have you taken any medicine?
No.
No medicine? Yeah. No medical issues at all?
No.
Any alcohol? So why are your pupils so small?
Because I work Monday through Friday, and Thursday I'm off.
What's today?
Friday.
Today's Friday?
Yeah.
Wow, those are really tiny. So today's Friday, and you're coming from work.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what time it is?
Wednesday, Friday.
And what time is it?
10.
10 in the morning, 10 at night,
10 in the morning.
10 in the morning. Okay. So no alcohol?
No.
You gotta love push bumpers, man.
Huh?
When he woke up, he rolled right into 9-3's car. No drugs? Okay. And you said you're coming from work?
From Friday, yeah.
You're coming from Friday?
Yeah.
You're coming from work on Friday?
Yeah, I got off work out Thursday morning.
How old are you?
21.
You're 21?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to go through right now. I apologize. If you guys don't mind just backing up, you can go that way.
Okay.
And today is Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. You mind if I check your eyes real quick, my man?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's step over here on this concrete back here.
Today is Friday.
So today's Friday, right?
Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday I work, Friday I'm off.
Okay, I got you. All right. You see the tip of my finger? Okay, so you've had no head injuries?
No
No medicine?
No.
No medical issues? Okay, awesome. Put your feet together for me. I'm going to check your eyes, okay? So what I need you to do is, you see the tip of my finger? I need you to follow the tip of my finger with your eyes and your eyes only, okay?
Okay.
That means don't move your head side to side.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, my man. Do you need medical attention?
No, I'm good.
You can cancel them.
Not for Central. You cancel EMS.
All right, you can relax for a second. So, you can take any medicine for anything?
No, not for EMS or anything.
No, not. Do you take medicine?
No, I'm good. Sorry.
You haven't taken medicine? No
No.
drugs?
No. Good.
Okay. You have your ID on?
Yeah.
Seven four. So I'm trying to have a 27 when you're ready.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What?
Registered owner's gonna be a parent.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
All right, let's try that again, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
It's in park, right?
Huh?
It's in park, right? Do what?
They're leaking fluids, or he's been here a while.
I think he's been here for a minute.
Hey, Brandon, if you don't mind me asking, what do you have? What's wrong with your left eye?
I have a birthmark.
Oh, I had a birthmark. Okay. All right. Follow the tip of my finger, okay? All right, same thing, okay? All right, we're gonna do one more, okay? I'm gonna come close to your face, but I'm not gonna touch it, okay?
Okay.
I need you to just follow it, all right? I need you to look at the tip of my finger. It might be a little easier if we use my pen. All right. You see the tip of my pen? All right. Follow that. Okay. Okay. I don't believe that you haven't taken any alcohol or drugs. You're still gonna stick with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to the next step, my man. All right. So what I need you to do is put your feet together. Just like that. Perfect. All right. Can you imagine? Actually, let's use this line right here. Can you agree on this line? Pretty straight?
Yeah, it's pretty straight.
Awesome. All right. Put your feet together. Arms on your side. Okay. What you're gonna do is what I tell you. Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I'm good.
All right. Put your left foot on that line. All right. And then put your right foot in front of your left foot, just like that. All right. Put your arms on your side. To your side. No, to your side.
Oh.
Look at my hands. Do that. All right. Now put your left foot on the line. Put your right foot in front of your left foot. Do not start until I tell you to start. Okay. This right here is the starting position. Do you understand that?
Perfect.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is demonstrate everything to you. Okay. As I demonstrate it, I'm gonna talk it out to you. All right. All right. You're gonna put your left foot on the line just like that. Okay. I'm in the same position. Now go back. Left foot back on the line. All right. Now watch me. Okay. Do you have any questions about anything I've told you so far?
No.
Okay, I'm going to demonstrate everything you need to do, okay? All right.
You have a message.
9 toe steps, okay? When you take your 9th step, you're going to take a series of small steps around your pivot foot and take 9 heel to toe steps back, all right? You have any questions about that?
No, I'm good.
All right, as you do that, you're going to keep your eyes on your toes, all right? And you're going to count your steps out loud, okay?
All right.
It's going to look like this. Watch me while I do this, okay? It's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, and so on until you get to 9, okay?
Okay.
Once you get your 9th step, you're gonna turn around just like that. 9 back. 1, 2, 3. All right, you have any questions about that?
I'm good.
All right, once you start, don't stop. Okay, hold on, go back. You have no questions about anything I've explained to you.
Good.
Okay, would you like for me to demonstrate it again?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, now put your left foot back on that line.
All right.
All right, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
All right. 9, 8, 7, 6,
Missed.
5,
Missed.
4, 3, 2, 1. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. Put your feet together back like you had them. Put your arms back down to your side, okay? All right, this is what I need you to do, okay? You're going to pick a leg of your choosing. I'm going to choose my left leg for this, okay? You're going to pick whichever leg you want, 6 inches off the ground, okay? That means the bottom of your foot's going to be parallel with the ground, okay?
All right.
You're going to keep your toe pointed out just like that, okay? And your eyes are going to be on the tip of your toe. You're going to count out loud 1001, 1002, 1003 until I tell you to stop, okay?
All right.
Do you have any questions about
No,
that?
good.
All right. For some reason, you put your foot down, just pick it right back up. Continue where you left off, right,
All right.
okay? You got any questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, my man, you go ahead and begin.
All right.
All right, you're good. All right, this is the last part, okay? Do you know, can you do this with your hands?
Yeah.
Can you do that behind your back?
All right, yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
All right, man, you're being placed under arrest for DUI, okay?
All right.
You have any questions about that?
There's a guy walking right down the middle of the highway, about 2 miles back. Walking right down the middle of the road.
Okay.
All right, let's step over here, my man.
No.
On 29 or 72? I already yelled at him before.
All right, step right here for me. You have anything in your pockets?
No. I want my wallet and my phone.
Okay, that's fine. Just lean up against my car real quick. Okay, let me lock these so they don't get too tight on you, okay?
Okay.
If you guys don't mind, I'll just sit with it and you guys can go.
Good.
We didn't search the car, just kind of glancing in.
Okay.
I got you, my man.
We'll search for any intoxicants.
Yep. All right.
Any intoxicants?
You like chapstick?
Yeah.
I got you. All right, take a seat for me, my man.
Hey, napkins.
Hey, who owns the car?
Who owns the car?
My mom, but she's not here.
Okay. Well, whenever she gets the car back or you get the car back, just let her know that when you woke up, you rode forward and hit the push bumper of my vehicle. That's why you have a dent on the front, okay? All right.
Wait. Am I gonna have to tell my dad if he told him?
We might need to get GSP out here for that.
Huh?
I said we might need to get GSP out here for that.
I'll call 17.
Yeah, call 17 real quick. So how old are you?
21.
21. Where were you born?
In Boynton Beach, Florida?
No, when?
Oh, doesn't.
All right, my man. So I'm gonna read this to you, okay? It's a yes or no question. All right. You said you haven't had any alcohol.
I've had.
I got you. I got you. So I'm gonna read this to you, okay? It's just a yes or no question. That's all I need from you, okay? Before I do that, I'm gonna read one other thing, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions as well, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, do you understand those rights? Yeah. Okay. So you said you took a few shots, right? Have you had any drugs?
No.
No pills, nothing like that. Just alcohol. Okay. All right. The state of Georgia has conditioned. Will you submit to the state administered chemical test of your breath? Okay. All right, man. So where are you coming from?
I'm from Athens, downtown.
Downtown. Where were you at in downtown?
We were in Tropical Bar.
Okay. What time were you out there?
We were there from like midnight.
Wait.
11:45.
11:45. Okay. How long have you been parked here? Do you know?
Parked here?
Yeah.
Not long until you guys stopped us.
Well, I didn't stop you.
Oh, okay.
The reason I got out with you was because there was cars behind you honking their horn.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We were there for like 2.5 hours.
Okay. Do you believe you were safe to drive?
No, yeah, because I was fine. Only because I was a little bit sleepy.
You're sleepy? Okay. So you don't think you're under the influence enough let me ask you this. Do you think that you had enough beers or alcohol to be safe enough to drive?
Yeah, because I took like 2 shots.
That's what you took?
I'm on 3 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And I thought I was a little sleepy.
Right.
But for alcohol, definitely good. It's just the sleepiness was a little bit too much.
Okay, I got you. So what kind of shots did you have?
Vodka.
Vodka?
Spicy tamarindo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 vodka shots?
Yeah.
You said 2?
Yeah.
Okay, no more than 2?
No more than
How
2.
big were the shots?
I can't point out, but from my fingers, like, I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. About that big?
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit, isn't it? All right, my man. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we got somebody's en route to get your car. We're gonna run up, do that breath sample real quick, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Do you know who's on route to get the car?
Dennis and Judy's. S&J. I'll write it down for you. S&J Towing. I'll write it down on a piece of paper for you. Okay.
But there's no other family S&J. Senior?
No. That's a tow company. It's an S&J Towing.
Okay.
Okay. All right, my man. Hey, Brandon, do you have any questions for me, man?
No.
Okay.
How old are you? 21.
Hello.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Amen. Protection. Follow the gentleman over here.
Put her steady, hard. Going up a board.
I'm gonna go right back where we came from. All right, my man. Let's go this way. Grab my phone. God, dude, that thing smells awful. So the legal limit is 0.08. Okay. When was the last time you drank? I know you said you went to the bar about 11:30, right?
Yeah, we went to a friend's house and we took 6 shots there.
Okay. And you said it was just 2 tequila shots? I gotcha. Do you know when the last time you took a shot was?
Probably like 2.5 hours ago.
Do you know what time it is now?
No.
It's 7:30 right now, but when I got out with you, it was like 6:27. So you say about 2 hours before that?
Yeah.
Your results, the first time you blew it, it was a .138, and then the second time was a .141. So I mean, it's above the legal limit. What this is, it's a temporary driver's license, okay? So your license is going to be suspended right now, okay? On the back of your copy, It's going to explain how you can go about the process of going to court and getting your license reinstated. So I'm going to hold on to your license, okay? And this copy that I give you, make sure you keep that on you because that's going to be your license for at least a month.
Okay, I do have a question about
Yeah, what's up?
I have a study abroad program this Friday.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be here in time for court.
Yeah, so there's going to be a number on the back, and you have to call them and set a court date for this, okay? It's going to be whenever you can. They'll give you the dates available, and usually the way it works is either you set it up, or if you get an attorney, your attorney will set it up for you, okay? All right, man, I just need you to sign right there where it says signature of the driver, and that basically validates your temporary driver's license.
The suspect was booked
Grinding all my life. Sacrifice. Hustle, baby, price. One slice. Got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. All my life. Grinding all my life. Sacrifice. Hustle, baby, price. One slice. Got to roll the dice. That's why.
Terry Marie Bryan, age 34, the one that left the kids at the house, and got a $250 million bond. And 5 years ago, that means the little boy was 10, the other little girl was 8, and the other little girl was 7 or 6. She walked off like these kids didn't exist, and I said all I need to say, but I'm gonna say a couple of more things because I've seen some stuff that was sent to me. You, the viewers, my subscribers, and thank you for sending me this, even though I didn't want to see this, but this is stuff that needs to be seen. It's amazing how trifling and insensitive some people can be that call themselves mothers. And I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna show you a series of posts that made me sick. They made me sick. Now you see this woman up here all dressed up. These are pictures of her in clubs and bars or wherever she was at, showing how beautiful she thinks she is and all of this type of stuff. Right? Not bad for somebody that claims to be transient. Telling them in the courtroom, I'm transient, I ain't got nowhere to go and all this other stuff. I won't tell where she was at. And that's the thing, and I'm gonna get on to that in a second. I'm gonna show you something. Now you see these pictures of her. These are recent pictures of her taking pictures, flexing for the gram and Facebook and all these other places, right? Gotta be seen. Now you watch this. Look at this post right here. This is recently. I think I left the date up there. Look at the goofy stuff in the mindset of some people that got children virtually living in filth and not thought about in the wintertime in Pontiac, Michigan. Y'all ever fucking try to be quiet? I can't. Fucking serious? How about you not be quiet and go over there and be with them kids? Look at this shit. This gonna blow your mind. Look at that one. She showed a food drive she was at on February 5th, I think it was. They got free food. They giving food away over here, y'all. But we all know the situation with the children. You ain't paid rent in 2 fucking months since December. That's why your stupid ass got caught. And you worrying about free shit that your children can use. So you out here going and getting free food for you and whoever you was with, while your children suffered in silence. And this is why I have no respect for people that do this type of stuff, and I go hard as I do and mean every damn thing I say, because there are people out here that are so dismissive on purpose of those that need them, to where they're oblivious to the shit that they do that points to them being a piece of shit. And I want to be honest about that. This woman is dog shit. It's foul. Let's talk about a couple of things I never talked about on these on these videos. First thing is this. In court today, she says she's transient. You're not transient. You got an address, but you chose not to live there because it was a shithole that you put your kids in. So you didn't have a place to go. Another thing is this, and I think that's sickening to even do that. If you look at this whole thing for what it is, guys, this woman walked off and dealt with them kids only when she had to, when they contacted her. And the only reason why she brought them food was because she didn't want to get in trouble if something happened to them. You know what I'm saying? She'd have been on the hook. putting her right where she's at right now. Another thing is this. How come motherfuckers that do shit like this are allowed to sit up there, not say nothing, and explain themselves? This thing done hit national media all over the place. People giving out of their kindness of their heart and wallet to take care of your motherfucking kids, and the justice system got it to where you can't say nothing. You don't have to say nothing. You just go through the process. Bullshit. Bullshit. How many of us when we was young, we was taught if you did something, you better know why you did it, or you get that ass bust. When we was young, it wasn't that, why you do this? I don't know. I don't know. And then a parent say, get out my face. They didn't do that back in the day. And that's why you got a bunch of crazy crimes out here. And then when people get caught, then you ask them why they do the devilishment they do. They say, I don't know. Even though the answer is common sense. The world is shifting and it's going to shit. And you're seeing it right in front of your face. Can't be accountable. I'm busted. Damn it, you got me. The jig is up. I did it. I'm a piece of shit. This is what I did. Can't even own up to it, even in the end. When the net is on you. You're caught in the dragnet, still can't talk. And they allow them to sit there. Oh, it doesn't matter. You're here now. We'll lock you up. She's facing life for this. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, y'all. It is. I want you to really think about that. This is bullshit. You sat up there and had a food drive advertised for a company that just showing people that you the plug and you know something. You want to share that on Facebook. Why you didn't share that shitty ass house your kids was in? It's like people are oblivious of the nonsense they do. And that's what hurts in this case. She's not allowed to, they're not making her say where she was at. She has a privilege or a right to not say nothing after fucking somebody's lives, 3 kids' lives up that are her own. You got a right to sit there with your face smug, looking like a damn troll under a fucking bridge in the darkness in your goddamn teleprompted court thing and not say nothing? No accountability. No reason why you did the things you did. It's crazy. Family members, ex-family members coming out talking about what kind of person you are and stuff like this. You just sitting there taking it because they allow you to. Y'all lucky I don't run shit. I'm telling you, you lucky I don't run shit. Motherfuckers do childish shit. You'll be an adult today on that stand.
Window down back here. Okay, the reason I'm stopping you is you're doing about 20 miles an hour in a 55, and you're not maintaining your lane. So, is everything okay?
Yes, sir. My transmission's just slipping.
Okay.
And I had an appointment to get it fixed. I went to it. They didn't have the part.
I just wanted to be able to see what I was walking up on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, I'm Deputy Gronenboom with Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office. I did need to see your driver license, your registration, insurance today. Do you have any firearms or weapons in the vehicle?
There's no firearms.
No firearms? All right. Where's your license at?
Honestly, my wallet was stolen.
Your wallet was stolen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other forms of identification on you today?
The only thing that I have nothing with my picture.
All right. Go ahead and roll down all the windows for me, please. All right. So, as you were saying?
I'm in the process of moving.
Okay.
My wallet was stolen, I guess, because I went to somebody's house and realized it was gone. I went and asked them about it. They said they hadn't found it.
Okay.
So I don't have my ID on me. I had my registration and everything, like.
Okay. Let's stop reaching around the vehicle. If you don't know where anything's at, what's your first name?
Mary Lee.
All right. Current address?
Currently, I'm in the process of moving, but I was staying at Alabama.
That's not going to be your current address now?
No.
Since you don't have ID on you, I've got to try to look all this information up. I'm going to go run your license. Do you have a valid license?
I'm honestly not sure. I was paying like my fines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's, fixed yet.
Was it suspended?
It was suspended.
What were you suspended for?
Speeding ticket.
If you are still suspended, we're going to need you to have somebody come get you in the vehicle.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's that on the dash right there?
Right here?
Yeah.
Probably one of his tools.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's possibly a pipe that he's smoking something out of.
No, he works on the, they have like the big trucks and stuff over there.
Yeah, there's burnt residue in here.
Are you sure it's not oil from a truck?
I mean, it looks pretty crusted. And is there anything in the car going to get you in trouble at all?
Not that I'm aware of, no sir.
Not that you're aware of?
No sir. I'm always finding nuts and bolts and like that everywhere.
That's just tobacco, it smells like. So.
Okay.
But like I said, it has been smoked out of, so
Okay.
it's not just a tool.
Oh. I don't, like I said, I'm always finding nuts and bolts and stuff like this, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hold tight for me, okay?
First name is Mary Lee.
There was a little metal pipe on the dash. And she showed it to me. She's like, it's Dexter's tool. Dexter's her boyfriend. It's like, well, it's not a tool. It's a little pipe. She has some burnt residue in it. There was a faint smell of tobacco to it, but that's all I could really smell in it. So.
I ran her Florida multiple times. Didn't get a return back.
She may be lying about who she is. Interesting.
I got no return on that deal.
That is bizarre. Okay, Miss. I've got to be able to figure out who you are. I don't know if you're Miss or if you're giving me a false name.
I mean, I could give you.
Listen to me. Listen. Right now, I'm running you through the computer system. I'm running DL numbers that are coming back to the name that you've given me, and so far we're not coming up with anything. So, do you have anything in that backpack that might help me identify you? Do you mind if I search your backpack for identification?
J. Baller Road.
All right, I've got a prescription bottle here with her name on it.
Can you check David for that name?
Lindsay's coming. They said I can't leave until they figure out who I am. They don't believe that I'm.
We didn't say that. We're saying it's not coming back.
It's not coming back. My name's not coming back anymore. Maybe because I was locked up for so long.
Not finding any type of Florida deal on her at all.
While we're doing this, just let me have you step out here.
I'm going to set this back in here.
Okay. Huh?
Let's step back here.
I didn't get anything back out of Alabama either.
When was the last time you had a license? Have you ever had a license?
Yeah, I've had a license before. Yes, sir.
Okay. Out of Florida?
Yes.
It's weird they're not finding it. That's why I'm...
I mean, I was in prison for
How long were you in prison?
4.5 years.
When did you get out?
I got out in 2017. The prison issued me an ID when I got out, and my wallet was just stolen. What, like a week ago?
We found a record of you being released from prison, but it doesn't have. We don't have a driver's license number. There's nothing. All it says is your name, day of birth, and you were released from jail. So, yeah, there's no picture or anything with it. So hold tight for us, okay? She's not paying on her penalties after she got out of jail is what that is. Car's not drivable. She said transmission is out and there's no insurance, so...
Arrest was Duval County for trafficking heroin.
What happened to your car, your damage over here?
I bought it like that.
You bought it like that?
Yeah, I only paid $1,000 for it.
Holy cow.
Yes.
It's okay if I check real quick, make sure there's no... I'm mostly worried about guns. I
have no
guns out the street.
guns. I can guarantee you there's no guns
All
in the
right.
car.
Is it okay if I... I check real quick.
I mean, I'd rather not. I mean, that's my right as a person.
Yes, it is. You're right. How are you getting the car out of here? It's not drivable.
What do you mean it's not?
You said the transmission's out on it.
It's not all the way out. It works sometimes it doesn't.
20 miles an hour down the highway. That's very dangerous.
I know I was. It's going to pull over before y'all stop me. I was pulling over to let it cool down. That's, I mean, all that has to be done. Like, yeah.
What you got?
She denied consent. She says that as soon as the transmission cools down, it will drive. It's fine. She says she has insurance on her phone that she's trying to locate right now. So she had there to appear in 2019. Okay. She is. several suspensions and a failure to appear. So we can't give her a citation because she has a failure to appear.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so what's the status on the ability to drive the car?
I mean, it's drivable.
You can't do 20 on this road.
I know that.
Somebody's going to rear end. Yeah.
Every now and then, it just, like I said, it just doesn't want to shift. And I was fixing to pull over, let it cool down, and then...
All right, that's not what we would consider operable.
No, and it doesn't always do that. It just...
How about the insurance? Did you ever find proof of insurance?
No, I know that it's through direct.
Well, that's not exactly proof of insurance, you know what I mean? All right, well... Finish up your cigarette.
Somebody's on their way, though.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, with everything that we've had to do, and you got a failure to appear...
I have a failure to appear. I just got...
To what I'm saying. Okay, you have a failure to appear on your record, and you have multiple other failure to pay suspensions on your driver license. So we're going to go...
You know, I always wondered why there wasn't a black record label with its own black distribution company. Because, you know, if you notice, there are a lot of black record labels, but they usually split it 50-50 with the major white record companies for distribution. Now, the crazy part is, they almost created one, though. There was some talk about putting a black distribution company together until everything fell apart back in the early 2000s. I remember Suge Knight, Dame Dash, Jay Prince, and Irv Gotti were about to come together, put up some millions, and form a black distribution music company. And, you know, it was more like a union they was trying to start, so artists in every music genre could get health care, a retirement pension, and things like that for when they get older and they're not selling records no more, right? They would have something to fall back on. It was actually Suge Knight's idea, who came up with the whole plan, because he saw how basketball, football, and all types of entertainment, you know, they got unions and retirement options. But as soon as it was about to happen, all of a sudden they all got in trouble with the feds and had their offices raided and computers, everything seized, and the plan of a black distribution company was never talked about again. But that's another story I'll do in the future, though. But you know, when you think of black-owned record labels, though, usually the first one that comes to mind is Motown Records, that was started by Berry Gordy. But before him, there were other black record labels like Broom Records, which is the first African-American owned and operated record label in the United States, created by a guy named George W. Broom in 1919. Another one is Black Swan Records, which is the first African-American owned label to record and press their own records. And that was started by Harry Pace in 1921 in Harlem, New York. And you know, Black Swan was named after Elizabeth Taylor Greenfield. You know, she was known as the Black Swan, and she is also considered to be America's first black pop star. That's back in 1921, y'all. Another label, Chicago Black Patty Records, founded by Mayo Williams in 1927. Another one is Sunshine Records, run by the Spike Brothers out of Los Angeles. They also started back in the 1920s. Dutone Records, created by Dootsy Williams in 1949. You know, he put out albums by Red Fox and Slappy White. And he put out the group The Penguins with that hit song, Earth Angel. But one label took the world by storm and had black, white, all races going crazy from the music they was putting out. And that's VJ Records. VJ Records, owned by an African-American couple, Vivian Carter and Jimmy Bracken. You know, they had artists like the Dells, Jerry Butler, Curtis Mayfield, the Staple Singers. This black-owned company was the first label to give the Beatles a shot at putting music out in America when nobody else would. They were the Beatles' first American label. And they had Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons too. But see, VJ Records would have been the #1 black-owned record company in history. But they just had a lot of financial troubles, man. A lot of lawsuits and a bunch of stuff just holding them back from that title. At one point, they had so many records on the radio getting the airplay. Radio stations was hating. The white radio stations was hating and giving them a hard time. They were the first black label to cross over into the pop charts. It was ahead of their time, man. And it's crazy because you think about it, after this story, VJ Records kind of destroyed themselves. Chess Records, you know, had all the popular blues artists, and VJ was just putting out everything. R&B, soul, blues, pop, rock, doo-wop, jazz, country, you name it. And you know, Berry Gordy, he learned a lot. He learned from their mistakes and made Motown Records successful. You know, sometimes it sucks being first to do something, but because everybody get to see what you did wrong and learn from it. It's not a bad thing, though. It's not a bad thing. Well, let's get into the story, though. And let's talk about Vivian Carter, who really was the queen and the head of the label. Now see, Vivian Carter was born March 25th, 1921 in Tunica, Mississippi. But she was raised in Gary, Indiana. You know, her parents, they moved from the South after World War I. Now, after she graduated high school, she took classes at a business college, and then she joined the Signal Corps. You know, the Signal Corps is a branch of the Army responsible for military communications and stuff like that. And, you know, during World War II, she spent a year in Washington, D.C., but ended up moving to Chicago just to be closer to home to her family and friends. And that's where she met her husband, Jimmy Bracken. Now, Jimmy Bracken, he was born May 23rd, 1909 in Oklahoma, but grew up in Kansas City. But it was in Chicago where everything all started, because see, Vivian ended up winning a contest for the best girl disc jockey in Chicago that legendary Chicago radio DJ Al Benson had going on at the time. He had a radio station on WGES radio. Now see, Al Benson, very popular at the time, and you know, he helped a lot of artists' careers by playing their music on air, especially chess records. He had a lot of power, which was rare being a black man at that time in the late 1940s. But you know, he'd be on the radio for like 10 hours and he would play your song. He'll play your song 5 times in a row if he liked it or you paid him. You know that payola was going on back then too. But anyway, so the contest, right? So out of thousands of people in that best male DJ and female DJ contest Al Benson was having, you know, you had to write a 1-minute commercial and read it for him at a hotel. And you know what? Vivian, she won. She won the contest for the female, and Sid McCoy won for the males. And the prize was an opportunity to host a 15-minute segment on Al Benson's radio platform. And, you know, by her winning that helped launch her radio career. But, you know, after 3 months of being in Chicago, after she won that contest, you know, she went back home to Gary, Indiana, where her and her husband, Jimmy Bracken, opened up a record store. And the record store was called Vivian Record Shop. After that, she ended up joining a radio station at WJOB in Hamden, Indiana. And then around 1952, she left that station and joined another radio station, WJRY, and she had 2 shows on that show. You know, one show was called The Vivian Carter Show, and then she had another show called Vivian Spiritual Hour. But then she joined another radio station at WWCA and created her own show called Living with Vivian, which aired 6 nights a week. And that Living with Vivian show was very successful. And that show made her a local celebrity with the teenagers because she played a lot of jazz, blues, gospel music from black artists. You know, the kids in the neighborhood will also come after school just to watch her through the glass store window. And, you know, she had the speakers out blasting her favorite songs. And she would take requests from the kids and ask them what songs they like or dislike to find out what was hot in the streets. And, you know, people started coming to her record store looking for like underground music that really wasn't on the radio. And, you know, she didn't have it available at the time. And that's when she got the bright idea to start making her own music and selling it out her store. So she figured by her having her own record store, plus being on the radio, that they could make money putting out their own music. Vivian and Jimmy wanted to be in that music business, and that's when they decided to record some music from some of the local talent around the way in Gary, Indiana. So, you know, to get started, they needed some money. And they knew that the white people in charge at the time wouldn't give them a loan, not from the bank or a credit card, because it was the 1950s. Racism was very bad at that time. Everything was segregated. So what they had to do is they borrowed money from a pawn shop. They had borrowed $500 from a pawn shop to start their record label, and they called the record label VJ Records, taking its name, you know, from their initials, Vivian for the V and Jimmy for the J. And they also brought in Calvin Carter, which is Vivian's younger brother, to help run the A&R department. You know, he would help produce the records and was in charge of the recording sessions because, you know, he was a singer himself. And, you know, Vivian and Jimmy also got married right after they got that label going that year. They tied the knot. Now, the first group they started working with were called the Spaniels, who actually graduated from the same high school that Vivian went to in Gary, Indiana. And some of the members went to school with Calvin Carter, her little brother. Now, how she met them, like one day they had came into her record store after winning a talent show at their school, and you know, they had asked Vivian if she knew where they can get a song recorded. They wanted to make a song, and you know, they had sung for her and she loved their voices, and that's when she told them that she wanted to work with them. And she had them practice at her mother's garage, the whole routine and everything. Now with their first group signed to their label, Vivian and Jimmy also brought the Spaniel suits, got them a photo shoot, little Carter traveling to perform. And on May 5th, 1953, they released a song called Baby It's You, which hit number 10 on Billboard's R&B records chart. Now, their second single titled Good Night, Sweetheart, Good Night hit number 5 on Billboard's Rhythm and Blues records chart. And it crossed over to the pop charts from the race records category to become a hit. And race records. Y'all know before they called it R&B, they used to label black music race music. But anyway, so that same year, a white girl group called the McGuire Sisters did a cover version of Good Night, Sweetheart, Good Night and sold millions of copies, which made Vivian angry. They took the Spaniel song, did a cover, and made it bigger, and you know, it sold millions. And like I said, Vivian got angry, but she and her husband, they had learned the publishing game, so they got paid whenever someone would do a cover of their songs. So that was smart of them to learn that publishing game at that time. But see, seeing the McGuire girls sell millions of copies made Vivian want to put more of a white sounding background on their future records and cross over to the different races. I mean, what it was is the white teens, they loved black music, but the teens loved the black music, but their parents didn't like the fact that they was listening to black music. So that's why a lot of the white artists did cover songs of the black music, and the radio station would play the white version. I mean, they was trying to stop black music at that time. They had articles and campaigns out saying, save the people, save the young people, don't buy Negro records and everything. You know, plus the white teens started wanting to hear the real version from the black artists anyway. And that's when Alan Freed started playing it up on his station in New York. But he labeled it rock and roll to make it more, you know, to make it more acceptable to the white parents. Now, after that, right, Vivian and Jimmy decided to move their whole operation to Chicago, and they opened up their office on Record Road because the Great Migration had everybody moving to Chicago. Chicago was just the place to be at that time. Now, Record Road was a block located in Chicago on South Michigan Avenue with a bunch of other independent record companies like, you know, of course, Chess Records was there, King Records, you know, King Records had James Brown, Brunswick Records had Jackie Wilson, and you know, later on, Kurt Tom Records by Curtis Mayfield was there, but that was much later on. And you know, the studio they used to record all their music was called the Universal Recording Corporation, which at the time was one of the largest independent studios in the country. Then, you know, VJ, they put their house band together under the leadership of bassist Al Smith. He ran the whole house music for VJ Records. And they was also connected to United Records Distributors. United Record Distributors, which was the first major black-owned music distribution company in the country. And that was ran by some brothers named George and Ernie Leaner, who were the nephews of the radio host Al Benson. Then Calvin Carter, being the one hired to find talent as an A&R for VJ Records, he discovered legendary blues musician Jimmy Reed at a slaughterhouse meat factory. And Jimmy Reed at the time had just gotten turned down by Chess Records. So they signed Jimmy Reed, and he put out some songs that did very well on the charts, like High and Lonesome, You Don't Have to Go, Ain't That Loving You Baby, You Got Me Dizzy, and many more. Jimmy Reed was a wild boy too, that stayed drunk all the time. He stayed drunk so much that the staff at VJ, Calvin Carter say he would have the cops arrest him. Got the cops arrest Jimmy Reed, throw him in jail just so they can pick him up and take him to the studio the next day. Wow, that's crazy. That's how much he used to get drunk all the time. After that, then they hired Ewart Abner because he had the music business knowledge, because he used to handle all the financial business at Chance Records. Now see, Ewart Abner, small guy, skinny, graduated from Howard University, got an accounting degree from DePaul, and he carried himself confident and like he was the smartest guy in the room, and which he was. Even lawyers said he was too intelligent and overqualified to be in the record business. Wow. So when Chance Records shut down, VJ Records made Ewart Abner the president of their label, because Vivian and Jimmy didn't really know the business side to the music industry at the time. But he was the one that did all the paperwork. Ewart Abner would do all the paperwork and collect the money for them. When he came on board, he hired white and black staff members to work for the company. So after that, then they signed a group from Chicago called the Eldorados, who put out a hit song called At My Front Door, which hit #1 on the U.S. R&B charts and #17 on the U.S. pop charts in 1955. Then they signed the legendary group, the Dells. If y'all know who the Dells were, that's the group in the 5 Heartbeats. That whole movie is based on the Dells. It's crazy because the Dells started off with Chess Records as the El Rays, but after the single they released on Chess Records didn't make any noise on the charts, Leonard Chess dropped them from the label. Leonard Chess told Marvin Jr. he couldn't sing. Wow, that's crazy. Marvin Jr. was Eddie King's character in the movie The 5 Heartbeats. That's who that was based upon. Leonard Chess told him he couldn't sing. That's crazy. So look, when Chess Records dropped them, they went right across the street to VJ Records and signed with them and released the song Oh What a Night, which hit #4 on the R&B singles chart, and years later hit #1 on the best-selling soul singles chart. I love that song right there, man. Oh What a Night. Another song I love from the Dells was Stay in My Corner. Beautiful song. I like the song Always Together, A Heart is a House for Love from the 5 Heartbeats soundtrack. The Dells, man, one of my favorite groups of all time. But anyway, so that same year, they also had signed legendary bluesman John Lee Hooker. They wanted to sell records in the blues market too, like Chess Records was doing with Muddy Waters and Little Walter and all of them. And now Vivian and Jimmy was seeing money coming now. Money was coming in. And you know what they was driving? Cadillacs. Just like the movie Cadillac Records. It's the 50s. So they say Vivian was riding around in a gold Cadillac with a mink coat all iced out and everything. Another legendary artist they had signed too, Jerry Butler, the Iceman. They had signed Jerry Butler. Well, actually, Jerry Butler and Curtis Mayfield were friends from Cabrini Green Projects. And they was in the same group called the Roosters, but VJ changed the group's name to Jerry Butler and the Impressions. And in 1958, they released a song called For Your Precious Love that hit #3 on the most played R&B chart and #11 on the Billboard pop charts. And according to history, that song, For Your Precious Love, is supposedly the first R&B soul song. Wow, that's the first soul song. But right after that, Jerry Butler went solo and left the group and had a very successful solo career. Then they wanted to get into the gospel market. VJ tried to get into they was trying to corner the market. They got into the gospel market. VJ Records started signing a bunch of gospel groups like the Staple Singers, the 5 Blind Boys of Mississippi, the Highway QCs, the famous Boyer Brothers, the Argo Singers, Swan Silver's Tones, the Caravans, Dorothy Love Coates and the Gospel Harmonettes, Maceo Woods, and many more. They had the staple singers, y'all, before they switched to R&B and went to Stax Records. You know, Mavis, when they had staple singers on the gospel, right? Mavis was only 12 years old singing lead on them gospel albums. Wow. Unbelievable. She had one of the most underrated voices ever. She one of the greatest female singers ever to do it too, man. Now, another artist they had signed to VJ Records was D. Clark. He had a big song called Raindrops that hit number 2 on the Hot 100 charts and number 3 on the R&B chart. They used to say he was a mixture of Sam Cooke and Jackie Wilson or something like that. Now, this other singer though they had signed, Gene Chandler, really made VJ Records hot at the time. He really put VJ Records on the map. On VJ, he had the first million-selling single song on VJ, which was called Duke of Earl, which hit number 1 on both the pop and R&B charts and held the number 1 spot for 3 weeks and was on the Hot 100 for a total of 15 weeks. That's a great song right there, Duke of Earl. I love it, man. And you know, it also has been selected by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as one of the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll and was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. That song was so big at that time, man. Like I said, sold 1 million copies in little over a month. And Gene Chandler is an underrated singer, in my opinion. That song Rainbow he had, that was written by Curtis Mayfield. Anyway, now, VJ also had signed Betty Everett, who had the hit songs You're No Good, that hit number 5 on the Cashbox R&B Locations chart, and the Shoop Shoop song, It's in His Kiss. That Shoop Shoop, It's in His Kiss song is the one that took her to the top, hitting number 1 on the Cashbox Magazine R&B charts and number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. She had another hit song too with Jerry Butler called Let It Be years later that hit number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 1 on the Cashbox Soul and R&B charts for 3 weeks. She was a great singer too, man. One of my favorite songs from Betty Everett is called There Come a Time, that she had back in 1969 that hit number 2 on the Billboard R&B listening charts and number 1 on the Cashbox chart. She had a beautiful singing voice too though. Definitely underrated. Now, check this. VJ also had signed Gladys Knight and the Pips when they were just called the Pips. That's when it was Gladys Knight, her brother Bubba Knight, her sister Brenda Knight, and their cousins William and Eleanor Guest. And they had a song out called Every Beat of My Heart that hit number 1 on the US Billboard R&B chart and number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Then VJ started signing a lot of jazz artists to dominate that market. They was trying to dominate everything, man. Now here's something different and important that VJ Records did for the history books, right? Now, they also started signing white artists. They were signing white artists who couldn't get deals with white major labels. And it was actually Ewart Abner's idea because he felt that VJ Records could do it all, from jazz, blues, spiritual, country, western, or whatever. In an interview, you know, Ewart Abner said, instead of doing some covers from some white artists, he'll just sign some white artists of his own, because he just felt that if VJ want to stay in the business, then they got to stop thinking of themselves as just a Negro company. They were the first black record label to do that, y'all. They started signing white artists too. And that's when they had signed Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons had just gotten turned down by gangster music boss Morris Levy, who said the song Sherry sounded like crap. And that's when they brought it to Ewart Abner, who loved the song. He was kind of hesitant at first because, you know, he had the black label, but he was willing to try it. And he loved the song Sherry. And you know, they had some big hits too, man. The song Sherry, that hit number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 for 5 consecutive weeks. And it hit number 1 on the R&B charts for 1 week. Another song they had was called Big Girls Don't Cry. That hit #1 for 5 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. And, you know, hit #1 on the R&B charts too. The other song they had was called Walk Like a Man. That hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks. And that hit #3 on the R&B singles chart. That's crazy. And now, let's get to the Beatles. VJ Records were the first ones to give the Beatles a shot in America. Because see, at the time, VJ's international representative was a 30-year-old.
You have a message.
Who later on would become the first African American woman to own and operate her own advertising agency. But anyway, she was the one that went to London to make that deal happen for Ewart Abner. Because they were hot, and they had a #1 record over there in England. And they were signed to EMI Records, who was doing business with Capitol Records in America. EMI Records was trying to get EMI Records was trying to get a buzz going for the Beatles in the USA. But like I said, they was doing business with Capitol, but Capitol Records didn't think the Beatles was that hot. They wasn't focused on them, and they turned them down to promote their music in America at the time. And you know, EMI was also cool with VJ. So they figured that since Capitol Records didn't want them, let's take them to VJ. And they reached out to VJ because actually EMI Records had a #1 hit record on the charts in the UK called I Remember You by a guy named Frank Ifield, who was a British Australian country music singer and guitarist who did a yodeling in his music. And EMI Records had asked Ewart Abner if they wanted that song really. So when they took that song from Frank Ifield, they said, would you take the Beatles too? It was like a package deal. And to be honest, you know, Ewart Abner really, he didn't want the Beatles either, but he wanted the Frank Ifield song. But in order to get the Frank Ifield song, he had to take the Beatles. So he said whatever. So he took the Beatles too with the Frank Ifield song and acquired the rights to some of the early Beatles recordings and a licensing deal with EMI and got a 5-year contract on the Beatles as a pickup on the Frank Ifield contract. VJ really weren't that interested in the Beatles at the time. Nobody in America was. So they acquired the Beatles and they signed them to a contract and they started working with the Beatles, you know, and they released some singles called Please Please Me, Ask Me Why, which was #1 overseas. Those songs were #1 overseas, but promoting in America, it didn't do that good. I mean, the songs charted, but VJ Records just weren't focused on the Beatles at the time. They even misspelled their name. They spelled it Beattles. That's how they spelled it. They didn't really care about the Beatles. Then they released some more songs from the Beatles trying to get a buzz going. They released the song Twist and Shout. It was a cover from the Isley Brothers. They had the Beatles do the Twist and Shout cover from the Isley Brothers. And, you know, they was working on their album. They still was going to put the Beatles album out. The album was called Introducing the Beatles, but they just, you know, VJ just wasn't focused on the Beatles. They was working on it, but they put it on the shelf and started focusing more on their artists that they had that was doing things. So the Beatles album just sat on the shelf. But then all of a sudden, the Beatles blew up after they appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. And that's when VJ Records turned their attention back on them. But by the time they were trying to focus back on the Beatles, things just started falling apart for VJ Records because the company's president, Ewart Abner, didn't pay the taxes. They owed money to the pressing plants that pressed the records. And, you know, Ewart Abner had a real bad gambling problem and spent a lot of the label's money. Apparently, he owed the boys in Vegas hundreds of thousands of dollars and took money out of VJ Records to pay off his gambling debts. Wow. I don't know if he owed the mob or mafia or whatever at the time, but they say he owed the boys in Vegas. Like I said earlier, Vivian and Jimmy Bracken really didn't know the paperwork side of the game. They were the shot callers and owned the company, but Ewart Abner was running the company like he was really the boss. and he knew all the finance and stuff, and he wouldn't put a lot of the numbers and the information on paper. He would try to keep it up in his head. He tried to keep track of everything in his head and stuff. They say he would just do crazy stuff like take the company's payroll and fly to Vegas and gamble all of it. Wow. They say he would win sometimes. Sometimes he lost a lot of times. He also paid a lot of money to DJs to play the artist's records. The payola was real. You know, they say he would pimp out prostitutes to the DJs. He did whatever he had to do to keep VJ Records on top, though. He did do whatever he had to do to keep the VJ Records on top. But, you know, in an interview, Ewart Abner denied he had a gambling problem. He said he didn't have a gambling problem. He said he didn't gamble with the company's funds because he owned a third of the company, and said he was gambling with his money. But, you know, Vivian and Jimmy didn't like that, man. And they fired him. They fired Ewart Abner. And that was around the time that the Beatles had blew up. And that's when the term the British invasion had took off and the Beatles became so big. They were selling millions of singles a month. Now, them singles that VJ had put out, them singles was selling now.
Hello, this is Doug. Hello.
Hello, am I speaking to Doug?
Yes, you are.
This is Susan from Pulse Dispatch calling on the recorded line, and we are informing you that we have it. Bye.
Hi.
But VJ just couldn't keep up with the orders. They couldn't press up enough records to meet the fans' demand because Ewart Abner had spent the money. They couldn't even pay to press the records up. Wow. You know, and that meant that they couldn't pay the agreement of the license royalties to EMI. So, like I said, they fired Ewart Abner. He was now gone. He went and started his own label called Constellation Records, and he took Gene Chandler with him. And, you know, after losing Ewart Abner, that was a big loss because he knew he had all the knowledge on the numbers and the paperwork, and he lost a lot of the company's money. So now Vivian and Jimmy had to figure things out. So when they didn't pay the Beatles, that's when EMI Records canceled VJ's contract due to non-payment of royalties. But they were still trying to release material from the Beatles because they were the hottest group in the world and now selling millions of records. Like I said earlier, they had the album ready, introducing the Beatles, but it sat on the shelf. And now they was trying to put it out. But that's when Capitol Records, who didn't like the Beatles at first and wouldn't promote them, they wanted to get back in the picture now. They wanted to get all the rights to the Beatles catalog because, you know, EMI and Capitol was owned by EMI. Capitol started releasing the Beatles material after they became successful trying to win the group back from VJ. And they ended up filing a cease and desist lawsuit against VJ Records for manufacturing and distributing, advertising, or otherwise disposing of records by the Beatles. But VJ still had the 5-year contract that said they could release that album that they had put on the shelf a while back, that introducing the Beatles album. And they put the album out, the Introducing the Beatles, on January 10th, 1964, which included 6 covers of songs by black artists. And then that's when Capitol Records released their album of the Beatles, titled Meet the Beatles. And both albums hit the top of the charts. And they continued to fight in court, but VJ Records, man, they couldn't fight Capitol Records in court because they didn't have no money. So Capitol Records won all the Beatles right. Wow. That's crazy. Capitol Records was the one that didn't want to do nothing with the Beatles at first. And VJ decided to take them on. As soon as the Beatles blow up, then Capitol Records want them back. That's crazy, man. And plus, you know, VJ was going through a lot, man. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons had filed a lawsuit against them because they weren't receiving enough money from their album sales and royalties, so they left the label, and signed to Philip Records. After that, that's when VJ made their executive, a guy named Randy Wood, the president of the company, to replace Ewart Abner. And you know, Randy Wood is the one who brought Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons to the label. But Randy Wood convinced Vivian and Jimmy to move their whole operation to Southern California, where he was at. And when they moved the company from Chicago to California, it just didn't work, because they went from 15 or 20 employees to like 200 employees overnight. Everybody in there had a store of their own. There were leased cars all over the place, and Randy Wood was signing more white pop artists to the label. And a lot of black artists left VJ Records by then. It was just a disaster. So Jimmy Bracken, he fired everybody from California, split ways with Randy Wood, and they went back and hired Ewart Abner. They hired Ewart Abner back. But by then, things just continued to fall in California. So that's when they decided to move the company back to Chicago. And they was trying to make a comeback with the label. They was trying to make a comeback. They had signed Little Richard, who at the time had Jimi Hendrix as a background guitar player. And they released the Little Richard album, but VJ Records didn't have enough money to promote the album though. So the album flopped. They also had signed a group called the Big Three, who at the time had Cass Elliot before she had joined the Mamas and Papas. They also had signed a young Billy Preston. And on August 20th, 1965, they released his second album titled The Most Exciting Organ Ever. But by 1966, the company just didn't have no money. Everybody was suing them. Randy Wood came back, sued the company for a breach of contract. Company went bankrupt, man. It's out of money, so they had to file for bankruptcy. And it was $3 million in debt. And the label just had to, label shut down. The IRS even seized Vivian Carter's record shop in Gary, Indiana. Wow. And you know, after the label, Vivian Carter had to go back to where she started, which is doing radio. And Jimmy Bracken, he tried to start another record label, but it never took off. And you know, him and Vivian and Jimmy, man, they just got divorced. Wow, that's sad. They lost the label. Label had to shut down, got divorced. Back to square one.
That's sad.